When the news broke that Liam Hemsworth would be stepping in for Henry Cavill as the show's titular Witcher, fans reacted with everything from excitement to skepticism. It was a bold move. Cavill had made Geralt iconic with his stoic presence, deep voice, and physically commanding performance. But Hemsworth wasn't about to coast on the legacy. He dove headfirst into transforming himself into a Geralt that could both honor what came before and offer something new. And the most cinematic, verifiable part of this transformation? The physical prep. Hemsworth's journey into Geralt's boots started with sword choreography, grueling physical training, and rain-soaked fight rehearsals, combined with meticulous costume and wig testing that ultimately locked in his Geralt look. When Hemsworth first learned he'd been offered the role, he described it as coming out of nowhere. I was as surprised as anyone. But as a fan of the Witcher video games and novels, he immediately knew that if he was going to take on Geralt, he needed to do more than just put on a costume. He relocated to London before filming began and committed to full immersion. The first order of business was, of course, sword training. Hemsworth had never performed at this level before, but under the guidance of top stunt coordinators, he learned Geralt's style from the ground up. Training focused on footwork, stances, parrying, strikes, and choreographed sequences that needed to look natural while remaining safe for the actor and stunt team. He spent hours each day in sparring sessions, drilling routines over and over until the movements became instinctive. One of the first major sequences he tackled involved multiple beats of combat in the rain, slippery floors, mud, and full contact choreography that tested both skill and endurance. The rain fight rehearsals deserve a special mention. Filming in water-soaked sets was physically punishing. Every step had to be precise to prevent slips. Every swing had to balance cinematic flair with practical safety. Hemsworth spent weeks acclimating to these conditions, building stamina to perform extended sequences while wet, cold, and fatigued. Co-stars described him as relentless, turning up fully formed for every take, even during the most physically grueling scenes. Outside of sword work, Hemsworth's preparation included intense strength and agility training. He needed to look imposing as a Witcher without losing the flexibility required for combat. His regimen combined weightlifting, endurance drills, and full-body agility work, carefully balancing muscle gain with mobility. Recovery was just as important. Hemsworth incorporated rest, stretching, and physiotherapy to prevent injury. Once the physicality was set, the visual transformation followed. Hemsworth underwent numerous wig and armor fittings, refining the iconic white hair, scars, and layered armor that Geralt is known for. These weren't mere cosmetic adjustments. The armor had to allow full movement while looking authentic. The wig had to move naturally during action sequences, and the scars had to feel lived in. Hemsworth said that when he finally put on the full costume, he immediately felt different. The physicality of the armor and sword in his hands transformed him psychologically, helping him inhabit Geralt's warrior mindset. Physical transformation was only half the battle. Hemsworth knew that voice and tone would make or break his Geralt. Cavill's Geralt is iconic for his deep, measured cadence and stoic delivery. Hemsworth didn't want to imitate. He wanted to make the character his own. Working with dialect coaches, he experimented with pitch, rhythm, and intensity to create a voice that conveyed authority, menace, and subtle emotional depth. The goal was nuanced. Hemsworth's Geralt needed to be distinct, not a copy, while still carrying the weight of a battle-hardened Witcher. This meant finding ways to inject humor and vulnerability without undermining the stoicism that fans expect. Hissrich, the showrunner, described Hemsworth's take as a little funnier, a little more human, a little more vulnerable, giving the show room to explore emotional beats that hadn't been highlighted previously. Voice work also influenced movement. Hemsworth practiced delivering lines while mid-combat to ensure tone and cadence remained consistent. The result is a Geralt whose dialogue, gestures, and fight movements are all synchronized. Everything feels organic, whether he's dueling a monster, interrogating a mage, or delivering a dry quip to Ciri. Replacing a lead actor mid-series is tricky. The Witcher's ensemble had been working together for years, establishing chemistry, timing, and unspoken cues. Hemsworth was acutely aware of this challenge. He described the first days on set as daunting, but quickly found the cast welcoming and collaborative. Social gatherings, casual dinners, and off-camera interactions helped him integrate, forming trust that translated into smoother performances on screen. Co-stars were impressed. Joey Beatty called Hemsworth relentless in his commitment to the role, while Anya Chalotra praised his vulnerability and willingness to learn. Hemsworth wasn't just memorizing lines. He was absorbing the subtle dynamics of a long-running ensemble. Timing, gestures, reactions, and emotional undercurrents, all of which are critical in a show with interweaving storylines. Hissrich also played a key role in shaping Hemsworth's performance performance within the ensemble. She wanted him to own his Geralt without feeling the need to mimic Cavill. This gave Hemsworth creative freedom, which he used to explore new facets of the character, including humor, tenderness, and quiet emotional resonance, traits that enriched his interactions with Yennefer, Ciri, and other characters. The switch from Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth as Geralt in The Witcher Season 4 was a huge storytelling challenge. The creative team had to find a way to make the recast feel natural, not jarring, for fans who'd spent 3 seasons getting used to Cavill's version of the White Wolf. They kicked things off in a really clever way. The season opens with a story within a story sequence featuring Nimue and Strybog debating which version of Geralt's legend they're actually telling. It's a smart little meta moment that winks at the audience, basically saying, yeah, we know he looks different, but the story still matters. It sets the tone perfectly, easing viewers into the transition while keeping the world and lore totally intact. To make the handoff feel more seamless, Netflix actually reshot a few key scenes from earlier seasons with Hemsworth. These moments were carefully chosen, important character beats and memories that define who Geralt is, so fans would see Hemsworth's face in moments they already knew. It's a pretty bold move, but it helps establish him as part of the show's history, not just the future. The result makes it easier to buy into the idea that this is still the same Geralt, just as the story continues. Liam Hemsworth didn't take the job lightly either. He dove deep into the source material, the Sapkowski books, the CD Projekt Red games, and the earlier seasons of the show, to make sure his take on Geralt would feel right. He's talked about wanting to stay true to what made the character so iconic, while still finding space to bring a bit of his own energy to it. That means keeping the gruff, brooding side fans love, but adding some new layers to Geralt's personality. Small tweaks that feel authentic instead of like a total reboot. Of course, everyone knew this recast was going to be a big deal online. Fans were super vocal when the change was first announced, and the internet has never been shy about its opinions. Hemsworth handled it in a really grounded way, though. He said that he basically stepped away from social media and the internet for most of the year while filming, not because he was ignoring fans, but because he wanted to block out the noise and focus on doing the work. In his words, it was about keeping the story and the character front and center, not the comparisons. That choice seems to have paid off. His Geralt feels intentional, focused, and emotionally grounded. Hemsworth was able to lock in on what makes Geralt tick, while still letting the character evolve. His version of Geralt feels like the same man seen through a slightly different lens. That's exactly what you want from a good recast. Continuity without imitation. Finally, stepping into Geralt's boots meant inheriting immense responsibility. Cavill's performance had become iconic, and the series was moving into some of the most critical story arcs from Sapkowski's novels. Hemsworth wasn't just acting. He was carrying a character whose actions, relationships, and decisions resonate deeply with fans. Every aspect of his preparation was about honoring the legacy while making Geralt his own. Hemsworth's Geralt embodies both strength and vulnerability, mastery and emotional nuance, creating a version of the character that feels authentic, alive, and distinct. By the time Season 4 hits screens, audiences will witness the culmination of this preparation. A Geralt who swings a sword like he's lived 1,000 battles, who can quip or show tenderness without losing authority, and who fits seamlessly into the world and ensemble that has been built over the years. Hemsworth's transformation is a testament to dedication, focus, and respect for both the role and the fans. A reminder that stepping into an iconic character isn't about imitation, but complete immersion and reinvention. Thanks for watching Collider. See you next time.